making her income $1,877.42.
And that's the highest limit, right? What was the income limit again?
The limit is $1,215.
The limit is $1,215, and she's at 18. But you know that income stops because of the fact that she's not working and she's in the hospital and whatever. And so there's no other limits to that adult Medicaid, right?
So that's for full Medicaid. So there are other limits as far as, like I said, the current program she's on, which is the Medicare Qualified Beneficiary Programs, but those programs only pay for her Part B premium for her Medicare.
Right. Okay. So you saying you referred her over to Family and Children's Medicaid, right?
Yes, that's correct.
What was the limit on that?
Well, you would have to talk to a Family and Children's caseworker because I don't know that information.
So you're saying you never sent out a notice that she withdrew her application?
Me personally, no, but it was probably denied for already receiving.
So you're saying that the notice that we received, you're not sure who sent it out, that said the application was withdrawn?
I'm not sure who sent that. No, I'm not. That's correct.
Okay, you don't know who sent that. All right, that's the first problem, because me knowing that I saw what was coming, in terms of knowing that my mom's was totally like sick and not able to work, and so the application was submitted because that sickness began around December 18th. She started a downward spiral. All right. Now then, what ends up happening is that knowing that she was about to be out of work, and then we did the FMLA paperwork, but to tell you the truth, based on the way she looks and acts, I don't think she's ever going to go back to work, and she doesn't understand that. It was completed, the paperwork was completed just in case, but at the same time, looking at the way she is, it's highly doubted that she'll go ahead and be able to go back to work. Either way, as we told you, I said, look, that's terminated income because there's a change in the scenario. So you're saying that no, the thing wasn't denied in December, the recertification, but you're saying the recertification period is actually 3 months, right? You do it ahead of time?
We work cases 2 months in advance. Yes. Her recertification was denied. Yes.
It was denied. In December,
yes,
right?
Because she was over in December, because she was over income.
Right, she was over income for all Medicaid programs?
For all adult Medicaid programs. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so she was denied in December for all. So then the application came in January, saying, "Hey, look, she's got medical bills and she's got income." Yes, when you consider income, you also consider expenses, right?
Essentially, medical bills will count as expenses, medical expenses. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. So like an $82 expense today would count as an expense, right? Like when she's about to be billed for the ambulance, right? So a lot of these medical expenses, and some of them were ongoing, right? So if she was denied her recertification in December, how is it that MQB is still active?
Because again, we work 2 months in advance. So while her recertification was denied in December, it does not go into effect until March 1st.
It doesn't go into effect until March 1st. Okay.
That's correct. So when you put an application in, and the application is dated January 1st, 2024, it's going to be denied because she's already receiving the program in which she's eligible for through adult Medicaid.
Okay. So that's why you were trying to say, hey, look, it's a change in income, right? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm trying to do that with you, but she still got a check in January. She got 2 checks in January. On that last check, does it show that she has no more? Because I know on certain pay stubs, those pay stubs, it would show like her leave balance would be 0, or her accumulated balance of leave is like exhausted or something like that. Does that pay stub show that?
The pay stub is actually proof that it is, because she didn't get a full check.
So
she didn't get a full check. She only got $100 check. That's because all the remaining leave that was used was gone. So there's no more leave left, because that's why she only got the $100 check. You said it's $100 gross, and I'm not, and it's my brother said it's $60 something net. But the other thing is this: I'm not sure why you're using the gross amount. I believe when you have specified persons, disabled persons, you always use the net amount.
No, we use gross amount. Medicaid always uses the gross amount.
So you never use. So when a person is, you never consider a person a specified person using a net amount.
That's correct. We always use gross amount.
Always use gross amount, no matter what. Okay, all right. So where are we at? So she's in the hospital. She's at rehab right now. She's coming. They're bringing her down on the ambulance. She'll be here in a couple minutes. And the application was submitted. Is the January 2nd application active or denied or what?
It was denied for already receiving.
All right. Even so, you didn't react to the change.
What was the change?
The change in income.
So again, so the last check that she received in January, yes, it was a smaller check, but that doesn't indicate that she's no longer employed or that she doesn't have any leave left to use. And that's why I'm asking you, do you have the last pay stub?
Do you understand the concept of someone who can't walk, who's learning how to walk again, who can't work? They can't work. The person can't work. She had acute kidney failure. Do you understand that? She had acute kidney failure. She can't work. And so you're trying to say, oh, well, this last check shows that if she had leave, it would have been applied to her. It would have been, so she would have had a full check. She did not have a full check. She had only $100. So if you can't accept that as evidence that she's not working, what other evidence do you want?
The pay stub that I was asking about.
Right, and then you have the consent of information to go ahead, because you obviously know that she got gross pay. So if you saw
the way that our systems work, we only see the date that she's paid, the gross amount, the hours. We do not see what, as far as if she has leave or not. We don't see that.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is this: is that if she had leave, she would have had a full check.
I understand what you're saying, and I understand your frustration. Again, I can't go based on that, because in this time she's still employed. She could even though she's in the hospital, she could still be occurring 4 hours of sickness or paid leave. I don't know that. I don't know. That's why I'm asking for the pay stub, because the pay stub would verify that she's not accumulating anything, and that she's exhausted all of her paid leave, whether it be sick or personal.
Do you understand the FMLA usually is the way FMLA works? It's unpaid leave. Generally,
if you exhaust, FMLA can be unpaid if you exhausted everything. But again, in some jobs, they have it as, even though you are on leave, you can still accumulate sick leave and personal leave, which is why I'm asking you for the last pay stub to show that she's A, not accumulating any more leave, and B, she doesn't have anything left.
So you want proof that
because you're telling me two different things now. You told me that you filled out the FMLA paperwork, but you didn't pull it through. But now you're saying you did do the FMLA paperwork and it's unpaid, so you're not understanding why I can't use that. Which is why I'm like, okay, if you have that last pay stub, can I have that last pay stub to get verification that she has no more leave, and that she's not, even though she's still employed, she has no more income to get from Whole Foods.
Let me ask you this. When you have a consent for the release of information, right? You have it, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you know the person is incapacitated, right? You know the person is in the hospital, can't do nothing, right? Or whatever, and now in rehab. You know that person can't do anything, right? So here's the question: is this? You, with that consent, can directly secure the information you need directly from the employer. Why aren't you not directly communicating with the employer to get that information?
Because I don't know which Whole Foods she works at.
She works for the Whole Food on Kildare Farm Road.
I don't know which Whole Foods she works at.
I just told you which one it is.
Okay, which one did you say it was on which road?
Kildare Farm Road, right there on Kildare Farm.
Kildare Farm Road.
And Kildare and Tryon Road.
That's in Raleigh?
Yes, no, it's in Cary, Cary, Cary. It's on Kildare and Tryon Road.
So I will call them to see if they would allow me to get that information. However, if they don't allow me, there's not much that I can do because I can't force them. And a lot of the time, like I said, I'm going to call them, but a lot of the time they'll tell me, oh, well, we use a third party to do verifications, and I have to go through that third party, which is the number that I've used, which is the work number, which is how I got her paid information in the first place.
The work number I thought was to verify like immigration status and stuff like that.
That's incorrect.
Okay, that's not okay. So either way, if you email me a income verification form, okay, and with the specifics of the fact you're looking at the leave. So you're saying that you have a problem with communicating, even though you have a consent for the release of information, you have a problem communicating directly with the worker, with the workplace, right?
That's false. I just said I will give them a call to see if they will speak with me and provide me the information that I need.
All right, so now you're saying that. Okay. Now
I know I've been saying that. So I got the Kill Devil, the Whole Foods on Kill Devil Cary. I said I will call them, and I said most of the time they will tell me that they cannot help me because they use a third party verification form known as the work number. But I will still give them a call. That is what I said.
But when the communications to your office specifically asked for help to secure any documents that you needed. Okay, it asks for the agency to help, because she's incapacitated, to help secure any documents that you needed with reference. So you're just not saying, oh yeah, now I'm going to try calling. Because
you asked me to call because you said that the last pay stub would indicate that. And I said, okay, well, if you have the last pay stub, can you provide it? And you did not say you would provide it. Instead, you said, call them directly since I have that consent. And I said, okay.
No, what I'm saying to you is this, is that I don't handle those pay stubs and those electronic records. That's another brother. In other words, my mom's got a lot of children. And the other brother and the other sister handle that end of it. Now, I can call George Lozada Jr. and ask him for a copy of that. I didn't say, but I don't have that record. And what I am saying is this: I did ask the agency to make all attempts to secure whatever they needed because of the fact my mom's incapacitated. I did ask that. And no one, until today, now you're saying, yeah, you're going to call a job. But this is the first out of what?
There's a change in the situation. Because the last time we spoke, you were unclear or unsure of what your mom's leave was. And I said, well, according to my documents and records, she's still getting paid. And because she's still getting paid, this change is still going to happen. Now, she has received, you're saying that she is no longer working or on FMLA, because that's still unclear. But you don't know if she's still accumulating leave or not. Based on the income that we have, she's still over. The only thing she's eligible for now, because of the drop in income, is the current program that she's on, which is the Medicare Qualified Beneficiaries Program that only pays her Part B premium because she still has income.
So you're saying,
but you are disagreeing with the income. So it's on your side to dispute what I'm saying. But because we're having so much conflict, I am willing to call Whole Foods in Kildare and Cary to get verification that I need in order to help you. I don't want to take benefits away from your mother. I don't want to see you guys in a hardship trying to care for your mom. That is not my overall goal as a person or as a caseworker. So I'm going to do this for you, but at the end, I've done everything. I've exhausted my resources to show, okay, she is working. She's still getting leave. You're saying she's not. She's not working. She's not on leave. She has no more leave. That's on you to show me that she's no longer working. It's not on me to prove that she's not working, because on my system, it shows that she is working.
All right, let me ask you one more question. All right, January 2nd came in. It's an application for Medicaid, right? It's an application for Medicaid. She's receiving MQB, right? But it's an application to be considered for full Medicaid. Now, she's over the income. So there's a deductible as of January 1st. Before that January 2nd application, there's a deductible. You're over the income, you got a deductible. Does an inpatient stay at any hospital meet any deductible?
No.
No. So no inpatient stay will meet any deductible. And you're saying for that January 2nd application that there is nothing.
The January 2nd application is a mute point because it's going to be denied. Even if for whatever reason she had gotten $10,000 in unpaid medical bills, that application would still be denied for her already receiving. If she was, now that she's in the hospital, she hasn't got a bill yet, but even when that bill does come, it's going to be a $1,600 bill for the inpatient stay. She might have a little miscellaneous bills after that due to anesthesia, rehab, and stuff like that. Then once those bills come in, we can reevaluate her again for full Medicaid. But those bills haven't come in yet. But my thing is, once your mom is no longer, whether she's employed or on unpaid FMLA, once that is done, or once there's no more income coming in from Whole Foods, she can get full Medicaid because her income is only that $900 and some odd dollars, because I'm not looking directly at it at this very moment. But once that is complete and it ceases to exist, she will have full Medicaid, and she will have the partial Medicaid that pays the 20% Medicare doesn't pay. But as of right now, based on her income that she received going back from December, I think it went back to November, because I don't remember when I worked on this case. Let me go to the notes. This is January. Going back, yeah, she in November, I looked at November's income, I looked at December's income, and now I have looked at January's income. Based on November and December, she's over income for all adult Medicaid programs. Based on the income that I'm currently looking at for January, she is eligible to remain on the current program that she's on, which is a Medicare Qualified Beneficiaries Program that only pays for the Part B.
All right, let me ask you one other question. Remember I'm here to answer all your questions. We had the discussion about paid and unpaid bills, right? And
That's correct.
You said only paid bills can be considered, right? Right?
Unpaid.
Only unpaid bills can be considered. That's what you said, right? Right?
That's exactly what I said.
And remember, I disagreed with you, right? I said, look, if you see over the course of a year that she's typically, has these monthly and or quarterly expenses, that you see it, you say because they were paid, you couldn't use it to reduce her income, right? Even though those bills were never considered ever for any application in terms of a deductible. You said at that point in time, right? Because you were just dealing with recertification, any paid bills could not be considered. Am I right?
That's correct.
Right. But my point of contention was the paid bills was evidence that she has monthly expenses that reduce her income, right? But you said, no, I can't use that, right?
Correct.
Okay. So this is another point of contention that I have with you then, is that some jurisdictions, which I outlined in one of the letters, do yearly average, some of them do 2 yearly average to reduce a person's income to go ahead and see if they qualify for Medicaid. You saying Wake County never does that, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's where another point of contention exists. Is that I know I've seen the checks. She asked, when I visit her once a week. I promised myself to visit her once a week, and 9 times out of 10, when I visit her once a week, I would go ahead and have her do. She would ask me to go ahead and write a check, and most of the time it was for the dental. It was for these tests that she had that weren't covered. It was for pharmacy stuff. There was medical bills there that each time I visited had to be paid. But you saying because they were paid, they can't be considered at all. But I'm saying that they should have been considered to go ahead and reduce her income to determine eligibility. And that's where we're.
I can understand what you're saying. However, again, that's not something that could be done.
It can't be done at all. Okay. All right. So where we're at with reference to this, you're going to deny the application.
I'm not going to deny because I'm not an applications worker. However, I seen your email where you had stated that you hadn't received any information as far as what's going on with the application. And that application was denied due to her already receiving Medicaid.
Right. And it wasn't withdrawn, it was denied. Okay.
Correct.
All right. That's where I know I sent. If you look at all those emails, you look at them, and they'll have a copy of that withdrawal letter. So if I'm not mistaken,
I understand that the withdrawal letter. I understand that. Not, like I said, I'm not entirely sure who sent the letter, because NCFAS sometimes has NCFAS does its own thing sometimes. But it was denied. Like I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call the Whole Foods in Cary on Kildare Road to see if they'll speak with me as far as what's going on with her leave, and if she has any, or if she's still accruing any, and whether or not she's still considered to be employed there.
Right. The thing is that because and by the way, my sister filled out there's a lot of people involved in this, my mom's personal business, and that's one of my sisters, one of my brothers, and stuff like that. And finally, like last week, was it this week? No, this week. No, it was last week. Last week, finally, they went ahead and completed the FMLA paperwork. But the problem is that to complete the FMLA paperwork, that HR system that they use, whatever that crap is, required a 2-step verification. So my sister had to get my mom's phone from the hospital to finish completing that, and that was a problem because it was trying to find the phone, and my mom wasn't cognizant enough to even answer the phone, so she's out of it. Basically, she's been out of it until the last 2 days. Mentally, she's been out of it because of all the stress and medications and all this other stuff that's been happening to her. So finally, within the last 2 days, she started picking up the phones. Actually, maybe she might not be picking up the phone, but she refused to communicate with anybody anyway, and even watch TV. So that being said, what you're looking for is this: is she on FMLA time, right? And she is. My personal opinion, she will never be able to return back to work. Either way, the income was dramatically decreased. And I believe that, as you know, that last pay stub shows, hey, look, had she had leave, she would have had a full check, but she didn't. She doesn't. And I understand your point that some companies they'll still allow you to accrue FMLA while you're on, leave time while you're on FMLA. I've never seen that. I will double check into it. And ask my brothers to, and actually I might stop by Whole Foods like by the end of the week and stuff like that to go ahead and I've never seen usually FMLA, once you're on FMLA, it's not paid time. You use your leave time until it's exhausted. Once you exhaust your leave time, that's it, you're done. It's unpaid leave, that's it. It's guaranteed unpaid leave. And I believe, like I said, my contention is this: it shows in her last pay stub she only got $100. So either way, you're saying inpatient stays don't count as deductibles anyway. So and you said Medicare pays what, $1,600
Medicare pays most of it. They just give you a deductible of about $1,600. I don't know the exact number because of the new year, they always fluctuate the deductibles due to like the cost of living increase and whatnot. But it's normally about $1,600.
Medicare usually has a $1,600 deductible. Okay. All right.
Medicare normally pays whatever, and the individual normally only pays the deductible of $1,600. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, my biggest thing right now is the January 2nd Medicaid application
was denied.
Is denied. It's gone.
Yes.
So even though we don't have a notice that it was denied, we have a notice that it was withdrawn, not denied.
Client, it was denied. I don't know if the person who's doing that application is waiting on or is now creating it. I'm not sure because, like I said, I'm not the apps worker, but it was definitely denied due to her already receiving.
Okay. So whoever that other worker is that denied the application, what do you need? Another application now? Is that what do you need?
You can submit another application, but that application is also going to get denied for already receiving. I told you what's the next step. The next step is because again, I am not the enemy. We're on the same team, and that's your team, Mom. I get that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Whole Foods to see if, while on leave, is she accruing any personal time, any sick leave, and if she's going to continue to receive any checks, or has she officially exhausted it, and because she's on FMLA, she's not going to accrue anything. And once I get a verification from that manager or whomever I speak with, I can then take the steps to get your mom on full Medicaid moving forward. However, if I can't get that verification, it will then be on you to get some form of verification. Not you specifically, or whoever takes care of that, to get that verification that my mom is not accruing any leave, she's not doing anything, that way it shows zero income, because on my system it does not show zero income. It doesn't tell me that she's exhausted leave. Yes, there was a dip in a decrease in income, but even with that decrease in income, she would not be full Medicaid. She would remain on the current program that she's on, which is the Medicare Qualified Beneficiaries Program.
Well, let me ask you one more thing. The last check that she received was $100 something. You said gross, right? Right?
Yes.
So if she gets paid every 2 weeks, the next check should be like $100 something, right?
But if she exhausted all her funds, if she exhausted all her leave, both personal and sick leave, wouldn't her next check be $0?
You're right. It should be $0. It should be. It should show that there's nothing there. You're right.
Right.
Absolutely right. But what I'm saying, even if you project that last pay stub and you multiply by 2.15, it'll show that her income will meet your Medicare limit, no?
It would, but I don't know what her future income is going to be. I can't go based on that last check. Because if I were to do it the way that you're doing it, that's me neglecting the first check that she received in January.
So you're not, the other information that was provided to you that, hey, look, she can barely walk. She definitely is going to take, if she's ever, which like I said, I doubt it. We ain't even considering having to move her in with family. So at this point, where the family is at is, look, is it sustainable to even have her living in the apartment? Would the income that she gets from Social Security enough to cover the $1,500 monthly rental costs? So it might not even. So what we're looking at is, can she even stay there? Because the income is not there. So we're looking at, hey, look, she might have to be moved in with family. Okay, that's what we're looking at. And so it's like, that's what I'm saying, is that we know $900 does not nip the butt for a $1,500 bill. And that's just the rent. That's not including the light bill and the water bill and all the other stuff. So you're talking about at least $1,700. $900 does not reach $1,700. And so what I'm trying to say to you is this: is that, you know, we know that she probably is not going back to work. We are considering these other options, and that's what I'm saying is that when it's reported to you guys, I mean, I'm flabbergasted that you say that you know, there's no inpatient stays don't meet deductibles. I mean, except for the $1,600. I mean, I don't know. So,
well, essentially, you don't. Essentially, we want your mom on full Medicaid. A deductible and a full Medicaid, you would want the full Medicaid over the deductible, because with the deductible, it's only 6 months of full Medicaid. So the goal shouldn't be to get her on the deductible. If that's your goal, I can attempt to help you with that, but I don't think she's going to meet that, even with her current hospital stays. My goal is to get her on full Medicaid. And the only way I can do that is to show that she's exhausted her funds, or like you said, that her next check in February is going to be just that regular 116, because if she does a cure leave, it's only going to be 2 hours or however many hours part-time Whole Foods does it. So that's my goal. I want her on full Medicaid. If you want me to stop my goal on getting her on full Medicaid and to work towards on her deductible, then let me know that's what you want to do.
Like I said, my goal is to get her full Medicaid because of the fact that she is incapacitated. She's not able to secure. She can't go to Whole Foods and get a letter from her job. So if the employee, let's say worst case scenario, employer doesn't want to help you. Employer doesn't want to talk to you. Okay. Employer doesn't want to tell you, hey, look, you know, we have the same hard time being that we're not the employee to secure that information, because she's not able to go into the office and get it. So, I mean, so then do you accept a client statement or collateral contact saying, hey, look, you know, she's out. That's it. We're not sure she ever. So at what point do you accept collateral information that the income's been terminated and or so reduced that it qualifies her for Medicaid full? At what point?
We go based on what our system tells us. So thankfully, she works at Whole Foods. So being that she works at Whole Foods, it returns in our system called the work number. With the work number, it shows me the date she got paid, how much she got paid, the gross amount, and the hours that she worked. So if, let's say in February, because I think, when did she get paid? On the 26th? Let's say on February 9th, she gets paid again, and I run the work number again, and it shows me $0.00. I can use that as verification that not that she's no longer employed, but that she has no more leave, she has no more income, and I can use that, and that's a push in the right direction. But if I pull it on February 9th, and February 9th there's income, I can use that income. I will have to wait for the whole month of February to come out, and then once that income comes out, I'm pretty sure, I want to say that she'd be under, but I don't know what leave she has or what she hasn't applied yet or what she has occurred. I don't know that. So it's all depending upon what February. If they don't want to, if the Whole Foods does not want to cooperate with me or you, that's the next course of action, is to wait for February's income. The same way with January's income. When you told me, I was like, hey, January, you saying that she exhausted all of it, she has no more leave, let's see what January has. We looked at January, she had one big check and then one small check. In February, which is a good thing, which we did, because now she's still eligible for the current program that she's on. So I can keep her on this program, and then February comes along, and in February she has no income or less income than she has in January, I can reevaluate her again for full Medicaid. But if there's no change in income or leave is applied, then I can't do anything about that. I would still have to keep her on the program that she's on.
Right.
So the only difference difference between the last 2 times I looked at income and today's income is that before, with the last 2 incomes, she was over for all adult Medicaid programs, and with today's income, she will remain on the current program that she's on, which is the Qualified Medicare Beneficiaries Program that pays that Part B premium. And the good thing about that is all you have to do is, instead of putting in another application, is just pick up the phone and give me a call and say, hey, can you reevaluate my mom for full Medicaid now?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying reevaluate now. But you're saying you don't have enough information. You need still missing something, and I
reevaluated her. While you were on the phone, I reevaluated her, and again, the difference between the last 2 times I looked at her income versus today is that with today's income, she's still eligible for the current program that she's on. That's me reevaluating her. If I reevaluate her today for full Medicaid, she still would not be eligible. She would still need to meet a deductible.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right.
Do you have any more questions?
No, that's it. Thank you.